How did life begin? Many believe that it started from hydrothermal vents at the deepest, darkest, and warmest part of the ocean. Others would also say that it is created in these little ponds that materials collected and concentrated within. Some scientists also speculate that the first cell, or at least their major components, arrived on Earth from other space. Moving on, what does the evidence reveal? First, it clearly stated that life always comes from pre existing life, because, according to the professor of biology Alexander, he stated that over the last 50 years, no empirical evidence supports the hypothesis of the spontaneous appearance of life on Earth from nothing but a molecular soup, and no significant advance in the scientific knowledge or study leads to this direction. Therefore, there is no such thing that life begin with a non-living molecule or a chemical. Second, many scientists feel that life could arise by chance. They have arrived to this conclusion due to the fact that way back 1953, Stanley L. Miller was able to produce some amino acids by accident. Because of this, few scientists believe that other cells can be made by accident. The third one is quite the opposite at the second, because he clearly opposed in a statement of other scientists where they stated that cells can also arise by accident as same as amino acid as Stanley L. Miller. According to Robert Shapiro, he clearly stated that not all cells are the same or can arise by an accident. For instance, he gave it an example, a nucleotide. It is different molecule from an amino acid and is only slightly complex or more complex than amino acid. And the last one, according to researcher Hubert, quote, it is impossible that the origin of life was protein first, end quote. Because other scientists would argue nga posible ba kaha nga ni-appear si RNA out of nowhere tapos ni sunod si protein or vice versa. But then yet again, it is impossible like what researcher Hubert says because RNA is required to make proteins, yet proteins are involved in the production of RNA. But other scientists also believe that maybe the slightest possibility na could RNA and protein appear at the same place and at the same time? Well, it was proven by Dr. Carroll that the probability of this happening is very low. So it is impossible for them to appear at the same place and at the same time. So why do these facts matter? In my opinion, matter sila because if a searcher mo start sila or ganahan sila makabalo about how do life really begin, they have a starting line na gyud. Kabalo sila ug asa sila magsugod ug asa sila mo end. And if they plan to construct a cell, they would accomplish something truly amazing. And of course, they would also have a background on what to avoid and what to do mangani. Because then yet again, it will help them to go furthermore sila ang ganahan maibaw-an o ganahan i-prove. Now for the second chapter. Is any form of life really simple? First part, what do scientists claim? So according to scientists, they believe that the simplest form of life is a cell, which is a prokaryotic cell, because prokaryotic cells are organisms defined as lacking of nucleus. Many people think that a plant and an animal cell must have developed from bacterial cell since prokaryotic cells are a comparatively less complicated than eukaryotic cell. They also claim that millions of years ago, some simple prokaryotic cells swallowed other cells but did not digest them. Instead, the theories goes on intelligent nature figure out a way not only to make radical changes in the function of ingested cells, but also to keep the adapted cells inside of the host cell when it is replicated. On to the next part. What does the evidence reveal? Well, the evidence reveal that research indicates that prokaryotic cells are among the most basic and ancient types of life, as they lack of nucleus and organelles that are confined to membranes. And some respected scientists say that even a simple cell is far too complex to have arisen by chance on Earth. Why do these facts matter? Because it provides insight into the evolution of life. It can help us in comparing cellular structures across different organisms and form the foundation of studying on more complex life forms in the near future.
Good day, everyone. Today I will be discussing about the insights that I have learned from chapters 3 and 4. So, in chapter 3, it asks the question, where did the instructions come from? We will delve into the incredible world of DNA, viewing it not just a genetic material, but as a sophisticated information storage system. And imagine a massive library where each gene holds precise instructions, nga mura og computer program, that guides the creation of proteins that are essential for life. And understanding DNA replication and transcription becomes a journey through molecular precision and speed. It's like witnessing tiny, highly efficient machines working seamlessly to ensure that the information encoded in DNA gets accurately translated and transmitted. So let's think about the complicated programs in our computers or phones. This chapter compares our DNA to these programs, making us wonder if life is more like a planned creation than just random luck. It's like asking, did life have a purpose from the start? Or did it all just happen by chance? This way of thinking goes against what we usually hear, opening up new ideas about where life actually came from. And connecting this with the text, the efficiency of DNA's information storage parallels to the mention of a computer language in the earlier chapters. It becomes clear that the similarities between different organisms' DNA may indicate a common designer rather than a common ancestor. This shift in perspective challenges traditional evolutionary theories, paving the way for a more complex and intriguing narrative of life's origins. Personally, Chapter 3 fills me with wonder about the amazing web of life. It makes me curious about the connections between science, philosophy, and faith. This chapter reminds me that there's always more to learn and encourages me to ask big questions. So now we will head to the fourth chapter. From what I gathered in chapter 4, it unfolds like solving a complex puzzle about where all life comes from. It explores Darwin's ideas and compares them with what the Bible says. And this chapter also looks at scientific evidence, especially from fossils, challenging the idea of a big family tree for all life and encouraging us to think in a new way. Darwin believed in a tree of life with a common ancestor, where different species branch off slowly. Some scientists agreed using shared DNA and fossils as proof, but the Bible tells a different story, saying there are fixed barriers between distinct kinds, allowing for variation within each kind. Recent genetic research challenges Darwin's tree of life. Like biologist Malcolm S. Gordon, he suggests that life might have had many starting points, not just one. The fossil record, especially the Cambrian explosion, shows sudden appearances of diverse life forms, going against Darwin's idea of gradual evolution. The analogy of a film with missing frames shows the fossil record lacks continuity, with most fossils staying the same over time, not supporting a smooth evolutionary progression. So some scientists question arranging fossils in a specific sequence, suggesting it might be influenced by preconceived ideas. In my opinion, Chapter 4 is like an interesting detective story, which makes me want to find more clues and think for myself. Life story isn't always simple, and that's what makes it interesting. It encourages us to keep asking questions and explore the amazing world we live in. Additionally, this chapter prompts us to be curious in everyday life. Just like asking questions in class helps us learn more, questioning why things are the way they are is okay. It's like looking at the world with fresh eyes and not just explore and discover more about the origins of life. Moreover, the chapter teaches us the value of critical thinking. It challenges us to reconsider established ideas and not simply accept things at face value. Life's complexities require us to think deeply and engage in ongoing exploration. So, this mindset can be applied beyond the scientific context to various aspects of our lives, encouraging us to question assumptions and seek deeper understanding. So, that is all for our discussion about the insights that we have gained from chapters 1 to 4.